there, my name is Claire and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Zentangle. A Zentangle is a little art project that uses repeating patterns throughout it. And it's a great way for us to practice a little bit of mindfulness while doing an art project. Now, what is mindfulness? Sometimes when people hear the word mindfulness, they imagine what we would call meditation. So maybe sitting cross-legged in a dark room with your eyes closed, with people telling you to imagine yourself in different situations, something like that. And that's sometimes what mindfulness looks like, but not always. Really, when it comes down to it, is mindfulness is just focusing on the present moment, maybe tuning into your own thoughts and what your body's doing, and just really paying attention to one thing at a time, which can be really tricky to do sometimes. But we're going to practice it a little bit while doing our Zentangle here. Zentangles are a great tool for us to practice mindfulness because we're able to keep our hands busy and doing something without it taking a whole lot of thought, so that we're still able to use our brains to practice that mindfulness. All right, so let's get started. Our first step here is going to be drawing a big squiggle shape. I have my plain white paper and a permanent marker, and I'm going to use it just to do a big scribble all over it. Doesn't matter what it looks like, just go for it for a second or two. I'll show you what mine looks like in just a moment. All right, there we go. Nothing fancy. I just split it up into a few different kind of little shapes inside the big one. All right, so why don't you get your squiggle done? Awesome. When you feel like it's ready, you can put the cap on your pen and set that off to the side. Our next thing we're going to need is our scissors. So basically, I'm just going to cut around my squiggle shape and try to get rid of some of this blank white parts. You can choose what kind of shape you'd like to make your Zentangle into. I usually like to make mine into a circle or a kind of an oval shape, but it's up to you. Maybe you want to have it be a rectangle today or a square, or draw it out kind of into a squiggle, all the way up to you. But go ahead and just cut it out and get rid of some of those boring plain white parts. There we go. Don't stress too much. If you're trying to make it into a certain shape and it doesn't quite turn out, like you can see, mine's not a very good oval, but that's no problem. You'll see in a little bit why. Okay, once you have your squiggle all cut out, I am going to be mounting it onto my construction paper. So I've got my glue stick here. There we go. And I'll put it all over the back side of this, making sure I get all the way to the edges so it doesn't curl up on me. There we go. And then get that right in the middle of my colored paper. Nice. All right. Awesome. Now we're all ready to actually get started on the Zentangle. So basically all you're going to do is using your black pen, or I have like a little skinny black marker. I am going to work on filling up each one of these little shapes with a different kind of repeating pattern. So this can look like anything you'd like. I usually end up using like stripes, maybe polka dots, maybe some kind of repeating shapes or pictures, like filling it up with a bunch of flowers or smiley faces or circles. There's really no wrong answers. Just do your best to fill it in with a bunch of different things. Try to take up all the white space that you can. And try to make each one of these shapes into something different. Okay? While we're working on this, we want to do our best to try to minimize any other distractions there are in our environment. So I usually find it easiest to focus when there's nobody else around me that I might end up looking at or something. And maybe I like to focus a little bit better when I'm listening to some relaxing music, because otherwise I might hear maybe people out in the hallway or sounds out on the street that are kind of distracting to me. So I'm going to put on a little bit of some just relaxing music for us to listen to while we work, and we can get started filling up our Zentangle with some of those repeating patterns. All right, we'll check in a few minutes and see how far we got. All right. How did that go? Were you able to stay focused on your Zentangle the entire time? Awesome, great job. Here, I'll just show you for a second what I was able to get done in that time. I wasn't able to get the whole thing done, obviously, but I have a few sections. So I have some just floating squares. They kind of look like confetti. Some swirls, stripes, anything you want, really. Awesome. I was going to show you two really quick, an example of one that's a little more finished so you can see what it will look like when it's closer to being done. So this is a Zentangle I worked on little by little over the course of a few weeks. Anytime I felt like I could use a little bit of a boost of mindfulness, maybe I was really worried about something that was coming up for me, or maybe I had kind of a tough conversation with somebody that I needed to relax afterwards, something like that. Sometimes even when I was having trouble falling asleep at night, I would do a little bit of mindfulness to help myself relax and kind of reset my mind a little bit, and do a Zentangle while I did that, so that my hands could stay a little bit busy. One thing I really love about Zentangles is that it's totally okay for them not to be perfect. Sometimes I hear people say it kind of stresses them out to do a project like this because they can't draw a perfect circle, or they can't make their lines just straight, something like that. But really what's great about it is that once you fill up your page with a whole lot of designs, even little mistakes that you might have made kind of fade into the background. I made a ton of mistakes on this project. Maybe you're able to see a couple if you look carefully. But once you're able to fill the whole thing up, our eyes travel around the picture so much, you don't even notice any mistakes there are. So it's no problem. All right, I hope you were able to learn a little bit about how to do a Zentangle, and you're excited to keep working on yours on your own time. I'd really encourage you to keep using this as a tool for whenever you need to kind of de-stress a little bit, if you just need to relax for a few minutes, anytime you think you need to just kind of unwind and reset your mind for a few minutes. All right, good luck working on these, and I'll talk to you later.